All right, everyone, we're gonna start the meeting. It is 6:02 on December 11th, 2025. This is the start of planning board meeting. Okay, let's review the minutes and take a look at that.
I reviewed the minutes. Make a motion, accept them as read.
Okay, all in favor? All right, we've got 2 orders of business tonight. You wanted to say something, Shane?
The only thing I have to start off with is, I did not print off the shoreline zoning ordinance for everybody, only because it's 70-some pages, so I will try to answer any questions you might have as quickly as I can. And also, I didn't know, I thought maybe going with that one first, or however you wanna do it, the board decides.
I was thinking of staying with Hancock.
Hancock first, okay.
Yep. So, yeah, we have the preliminary review of Hancock Lumber's site plan for the wood truss manufacturing facility at 1280 Main Street. So, yeah, who do we have here?
Hey, I'm Greg from Boards here. I'll
Yep.
myself. Good evening, my name's Henry Hess. I'm representing the applicant this evening. Hancock Lumber with me tonight is Mr. Dan Losey, Hancock Lumber, and Rebecca Hatfield from Hancock Lumber. I'm gonna stay up for y'all to really enjoy. Yep, not a problem. Oh, no, but thank you, I appreciate that. All right. So in front of you, in front of the board this evening, is Components Manufacturing Building at 1280 Main Street there. It's the location of the former drive-in. Total parcel size, existing parcel right off of Main Street there is about 10 acres. And then there's actually an additional parcel there, about 1 acre, just under 1 acre there off Large Drive. That's also a part of the project. It's in the mixed-use district. Building components, manufacturing buildings, so again, wall panels, trusses, things like that. About 39 parking spaces. Right now, they're proposing to use a curb cut on Main Street and on Lars Drive. The one on Main Street, it's roughly in the same location as the former curb cut that was there. It's actually shifted down just a little bit to call it the east there on the plan. Let's see. We have about 39 parking spaces overall. About what did you say? About 20 employees total. About 20 employees total expected. In the rear there, you'll see there's a large laydown area. A lot of that will be outdoor laydown area for components as they come out of the building before they're put on trucks and taken out to different locations. The section there, it's labeled as on the left, that's gravel laydown area here. Over here off of Large Drive, while it will service some laydown, we'll certainly look to park some trucks there before they get loaded up and headed out. The intent would be employees and any visitors coming in off Main Street with any truck traffic going down Lars, and trying to keep major truck traffic off of the Main Street entrance. Total about 38 peak AM and PM trips, so very light traffic use overall. Outside of the employees and folks showing up for work, it's really just a couple of trucks throughout the day, not really a high traffic use. Whole site actually, this is the highest side of the site here is actually close to Main Street there. It does slope down towards the rear. And in the back there is actually a wet pond proposed to treat stormwater runoff and meet the flooding standards, not only for 2, 10, and 25-year storms. We did run a 100-year storm on it just to see what would happen. Certainly it's contained, doesn't blow off and destroy the berms. But we are meeting the requirements there, stormwater. Dumpster locations located out back here. In the landscape plan, you'll see are screened. The culvert that's out here today is actually going to be shifted over with the driveway, and we'll regrade that area there just so we keep the drainage patterns the same up front. Project has submitted to DEP, given its size and acreage of impervious. DEP engineering review has been completed, and we're just finishing up some of their final reviews at DEP before they issue that order. And DOT entrance permit has been applied for, and they're also currently in the middle of writing up that order as well. Certainly, I can turn it over to the board. Any question you may have, happy to answer them for you.
Yeah, so now one question was gonna be about the traffic or the trucks, big trucks coming in. You explained that, how they can come in off of ours.
Yes. Employees and visitors only coming in off. And hopefully break up the traffic and any turning issues there and stacking them easier.
So has the DOT approved it yet, or you just submitted it, you're just waiting for their review?
They haven't issued the formal order yet. They did send an email actually just today saying that they would be issuing it, and they're dotting i's and crossing t's, driveway entrance permit.
So they're okay with it?
Correct. Which of course I think will be submitting any formal approval to the board and the town for building permit as well, just so that's on record.
I apologize, I know I went through this stuff, so there was a big packet.
Sure.
Sent, but now where was the septic and all that gonna be done?
Great question. I didn't actually cover that. Thank you. Septic's actually located up, we have a transformer pad up here and generator, and the septic's actually just off that. If you're looking at the contours, you actually see a bit of a flat spot up here. We are about just over 100 feet from the nearest well nearby on the adjacent parcel there. Water itself, now you prompted me there, thank you. Water, we are intended to tap into Main Street, do a horizontal directional bore underneath, so we don't actually cut in or trench cut across.
Oh, nice.
And access. There is water on Lars. Water in Main is just a bigger main. We've got plenty of PSI for any sort of fire suppression that'll be needed. And it's a shorter run pipe. So that's where that decision came from. So they're coming off Lars. Lars, while there is water, it's a smaller line, lower PSI, and it's a much longer run.
So the back parking lot, I'm assuming just dirt, gravel?
No, right now it's proposed as pave. We looked at sections of it as being gravel at one point. There is components of dust and maintenance that come with that. Right now, we're looking at what would be essentially a heavier duty bituminous pavement around the building, and then actually just go into a thinner section of pavement further back where more storage may be in the rear, just as a cost savings.
Your way, yeah.
Yep.
No, that's fine. That's very good.
Yeah.
Front elevations here, and then side and rear elevations of the building for you. Be a few small offices inside, bathrooms, things like that. Locker rooms for any employees working in there. Standard electrical, IT rooms, things like that.
So there's no milling going on, your finished product's gonna come in and you're gonna do it.
No milling out here. Not actual mill.
So we're bringing in the lumber and they'll just be fabricating.
Actually, probably can't get into too much detail from that far away. Certainly, essentially, products come into the building, they move through assembly, through the lines, and then out on the end here, picked up and either stored or sent out.
I'm still waiting to hear back from DOT and all that.
I was just gonna say, I make a motion that we accept the preliminary report as written, contingent on when we get the report back from DOT.
Mhm.
And you said have you gotten DEP back, or it's,
Again, we're still
you're
waiting,
just waiting to get there?
we're waiting on that.
So I would say contingent on we get the report back from DOT and DEP.
I think that's reasonable.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor? That was pretty simple.
That was
Yeah.
fun. Do you guys need to have any public hearing or anything?
Yeah, well, that's what do we from the public want to talk, you got questions? Sorry.
Well,
No, that's all right.
I need butter on the rear side, so I'm kind of, is this gonna be a fenced facility or is it?
Correct, yeah, the intent would be that there would be a fence surrounding the facility, to keep it, keep really security.
And you said you have a sediment pond or something to that effect?
Correct, there's a large wet pond, to the rear.
And where is that gonna be located?
It'll be to the rear of the site, back by the tree line. I guess it's furthest from Main Street, I guess.
It's on this big.
Yeah, if you can see the picture,
Yeah,
Rob, Rich,
yeah,
Rich,
it's
Rich,
big.
Rich, down
Maybe
there.
have turn around and show it to you there. There you go. So you got Main Street right here. You got Main Street here, facilities, the rear lot, and wet pond be down here, and then the hill continues back down there. This is kind of like the front half of that big steep hill.
Down back here on the access along this existing road there now, so.
Yep, we certainly wouldn't look to impede that road by any means. Yeah, we're happy to have conversations around that too.
I mean, this is the existing property line.
Yes, sir.
Everywhere. These pins and all that.
Yeah.
I know this is what the footage is, I know where that pin is, this one doesn't have a pin, but it- since you guys have purchased this lot. See that pin
Yeah, we did go out.
there? This is the only one,
Yeah.
there's a couple pins down in this back. Which one belongs to the square?
And I think they've been located since with some of the boundary.
Well, there's two, and they're about 500 feet.
Oh, no
Just
kidding.
a little further.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if one goes to
Mhm.
here or to Scott's property or
How that falls in there.
All right. This is the footage.
Yeah, these are your contours here, and that's the bottom of the pond here.
This
And then this would all, this, everything in the dark green.
10,
would be-
11 acres is all planned on being fenced in.
Yes, sir. Going right along, you can see the line with the circle on it there.
Oh, yeah.
It goes all the way around.
So this would be still the deal.
Correct.
Yeah, that drops off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly right.
For the record, you were just concerned about the property being fenced in?
Yeah, just, there's a, my water, my land's down below, so I
Okay.
don't really.
Yeah.
Water coming on my property, that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
But it does, yeah, it does contour down past where the proposed pond is, so.
And it gets part of the reason we kept it where it was is
Yeah.
you go much further and you're just chasing it down the hill.
So a little side note for the sake of full disclosure. So Monday, I have a meeting with Christy Kenny. I think she's from your office.
She's got a separate office, but on the team, yeah.
So we're gonna be discussing, I don't know if the plans are reflective of the current requirement for bathrooms. Due to the size of the building, the square footage, there is an exemption that exists. We're gonna hash this out on Monday that would require, them not to have, for example, Walmart, where they have a bunch of patrons and multiple employees, they have to have, because of the square footage, you're gonna have so many bathrooms available. This building, where it's gonna be maybe comparable in size, there's only gonna be 20 employees. It's not a retail place, so there is an exemption that exists that would, what's the word I'm looking for?
Not need so many restrooms.
Yes, not meet that requirement as far as how many restrooms they need.
Not getting
So we're just gonna work that out on Monday. And, figure out how we're gonna go about it.
Is that something too, at the time of actual coming in for building permit, we'd have to make sure that we're meeting that as well.
Hopefully by then, we'll have it all hashed out before that.
You'll be able to explain the details to us.
I can, if you'd like to.
All right.
It'll be the next minute.
All right. Well, that's good.
Thank you.
Good with you guys.
Do they have an estimated time when the state might get back to you?
Oh, man.
We're talking about the state.
And we got
I know.
Christmas coming.
I don't know if it's like a month or
Honestly,
3 months
It would be
or.
the best Christmas gift ever, but I'm probably anticipating, just early.
Okay.
And as soon as that comes in, we'd love to come in for building permit, if we can start, mid, late winter, that would be cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The packet was very thorough, so.
Yeah. Well, I already got all the stuff I had too, so it's like.
So you satisfied with those two contingencies? Shall I just forward everybody the
Well,
information?
this is the preliminary, I have a final anyway. So as long as it's, we received it, they approved it, comes from.
Yeah.
I think they're under the final.
I want a Monday.
Thank
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
As soon as I get confirmation.
Alright, so next order of business is preliminary review of Warren Michaelson's site. The site plan application at 35 Lunts Point Road, Oxford, Maine. And we have Keith Morris.
You got the cane though, you can wear
Keith,
Hi. Good, how you guys doing?
see you again.
Good to see you guys. As you know, I'm Keith Morris. I'm land surveyor for Paradigm Consultants now. Not JPL land surveying anymore. And here to present a shoreline zoning application for the Michelsons at 35 Lunts Point Lane in Oxford. A nice area out here. They would like to rebuild the house. They do have plans, they've submitted plans, elevations with the application of what the house is doing. Basically, it's gonna be smaller. Technically, the shoreline zoning, you measure the footprint of all the structures from the overhang. Okay, and they happen, if you see the pictures of that, they got a pretty elaborate overhangs on this current cottage. Exceeding probably 3 feet, I don't know the exact measurement, but exceeding
Pretty good.
3 feet. So even though we're gonna enlarge that cottage, camp, or the house, we're gonna have 1 foot overhangs. So actually, we're actually reducing the lot coverage area because you gotta measure it from the overhang. So it's gonna be 2 foot less around, even though the building is slightly bigger than the actual, livable space is actually a little bit bigger by probably a foot on each wall. So, that said, they do plan on putting on, this on a frost wall. And immediately behind the structure, existing structure, is the tank.
Is that little figure eight thing?
Right there.
Is that what that, is that the pump or the?
Yeah, that's where the pump station is right there. Comes out to the leach bed out here.
Okay.
So they're gonna be using the same system. Hooking up to that. Setting in basically the same footprint, but small. And also doing, frost walls for Property is not generally in a flood zone at all. All the blue right down in here, that area down near the lake is what the flood zone is. The first floor elevation, I can give it to you. The finished floor elevation will be around 331, 332, somewhere around there. Flood zone's at 328, I believe. 326, my bad. So well above the flood zone. In this particular instance. So the crux of it all is, all we're gonna be doing is replacing the main building. They are required to have erosion control system. We built that in here for when they start construction. So, prevent any kind of, wind getting into the lake. Under the proposed and existing conditions up in these tables up here, we had existing 29% of, what I did is I only used the 250-foot shoreline setback as the area to calculate lot coverage. They own way beyond here. It doesn't show all what they own. They own all this land here, but the 250-foot line is here. So all the calculations are based within that 250-foot area. So the 28% lot coverage, even though it's grandfathered for that, or the 29%, if we were allowed to use, and I'm not sure if we are, but we're not calculating that in. We'd be a lot lower than 20%. Because it does go way back. And there was almost 315 feet, 320 feet there. So this is a dead end road. Well, technically, it's dead end road. This is the last lot you can access this property to. Entertain any questions you guys like to ask me, or right out the answer.
So the building is, the footprint of the building is staying the same. Well,
Less, actually slightly less.
well, you calculated the
overhang.
the footprint by the roof overhang.
Yeah, the old overhang,
so
as compared to the
foundation
new
will be-
overhang is gonna be less lot coverage.
Right, so the foundation will actually be a little bit bigger. You'll gain actually more square footage in the house.
Yeah,
Because
Look,
you're
yeah,
building it different.
yeah, they're just not building with the excessive 3-foot.
Right, so you'll actually, yeah, and it makes sense.
Sir, is this existing house considered a non-conforming structure?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I believe we spoke briefly when you were in my office. Well, is there a reason why we're not moving it back to the nearest practical extent?
That, it would be considered the most practical extent, since the septic system is right there behind you right now. And there's trees and stuff like that that would have to be cut. You have to put a whole new system in, or,
Is there room to move it back? Does it have to be shifted, or you can?
well,
You
we take
have to take a
that would be
couple
not-
trees down.
well, under the definition, what it gives there, defined practical extent, I mean, what would be the cost of having to move back? I mean, I want to bring up bad memories, but
Oh, we all remember.
we
that
had
one.
one right here in this office that had the same situation, which didn't even provide any of this information that I'm providing you folks. And, I was pretty much lock and key.
The ordinance states that you cannot take an already non-conforming structure and make it more non-conforming. Now, I understand at the end of the day, aesthetically, it's gonna look the same.
We're not
It's gonna be
making it
the same.
more non-conforming. It's smaller, it's meeting less of the setbacks that we normally was, what it originally was. So I guess, even though the building, livable space is a little bit bigger, the actual calculated, what you're supposed to, what you're supposed to use in shoreline zoning is much smaller too. So we're not making it more non-conforming by any means whatsoever.
So if you just remodeled it in its current state,
They wouldn't even have to come to us.
they would have to come to us.
Yeah.
Because well, if you want to do interior remodeling,
Okay, just interior.
yeah, you wouldn't have to be here.
But the structure is as a state that it's not.
But to tear it down beyond 50%, which is what we're proposing, then that's a self-imposed condition that,
Based on approval though. I mean, it's not self-imposed if that's why we're here for the proposal, for approval.
What would be, I understand the septic is what, 10 feet behind the building? I'm
The
guessing,
tank is,
yeah. My thought, I'm just throwing this out there, because I understand the expense of trying to make somebody move the camp 100 feet back.
Yeah, very expensive.
What would be, just because right now, you don't get the setback on the left, what if you just twisted the whole camp? Do you see what I'm saying?
First of all, we do need the setback on it, because it was grandfathered from the gate.
It shouldn't be grandfathered.
It is grandfathered, it's grandfathered today. You're allowed to keep that setback.
Right.
Okay, so we don't have a non-conforming building here, it's a structure that was built prior to the ordinances, so it's grandfathered.
it is. But once you tear that building down, right?
Under
then-
approval,
once you tear that building down, my understanding is now you have to move it back to the furthest practical extent.
which it already
So-
is.
So
We're making a
define
case.
what's practical, having to redesign this, I mean, if you're already gonna invest in building a new, essentially rebuilding the entire house.
Based on, practical extent can be, and I've done several of these, and not only in Oxford, but many times. The septic system can create most of the practical extent. Where it's at has been accepted as a protocol for the most practical extent that the house can move. In this case, it's not practical to move the house
Because of the septic
because of the
system.
system, and not only that, the nature of mature trees out there and everything else that you would have to do.
How is that septic system situated, orientated on the lot? Like if you move the house beyond it, could you still utilize that same septic system?
Well, then you have to move all the electrical, we went through all this here. You have to pull all the electrical back and everything else. The board at that time determined that to be, a burden and beyond the practical extent.
So,
I guess,
the issue is, with the code, is that once you can rebuild the camp the way it is, but once you tear it down and dig for a new foundation.
Basically, you've got the same campus, the same spot,
Yeah.
same orientation, with less overhangs.
Right, but what Shane's saying makes sense though, because the building's being completely demolished.
That's
You're
why we're
starting
here
from
for the
scratch.
approval though. Yes, we understand it has to be demolished, but that's what the approval's here for, is to demolish it and put a new home on the same exact spot, which is not uncommon. This is not an uncommon request.
So you're not talking about a variance, are you?
Nope.
Because we can't give it a variance for.
We're grandfathered. The setbacks are grandfathered. We can't go any closer than what they're on there, but we can't be forced to go further.
Yes. Keith, could you not move it back, you wouldn't have to, redo the leach fields, but you would have to move.
you wouldn't even have to move the tank. I'm just curious because you're gonna tear the whole camp down, you haven't had a foundation yet. If
Yeah.
you just rotated it, you'll get more of a distance between the water and the camp, and you can get your side setback to be the 15 feet or more. Just
Warren, did you
curious.
wanna have a say on how that, about that, the orientation as it is?
So I'm Warren Michelson. So the reason that we really looked into this is because that the camp is settling. There's a big brick fireplace in the middle of it that we put in years ago. And if you do the math, I probably have been on that area for about 70 years. So I know this part of the world and my folks have been there. But anyway, the sonotubes were old style sonotubes. They're not very big. And it's just worn itself out. It's settling down. So my understanding is that we'd like to rebuild it exactly, in the same place, but we really don't even have the opportunity to remodel it because you're only allowed a percentage of the value of the building. And the building's valued at $95,000. And at 40, I think it's 40 or 45% of the building value, not the property value. I don't even think I could jack it up and do all the foundation work that's required to have it be viable. The windows are shot in it. I mean, it's really more than just the fact that we want to rebuild the camp. It's gonna require a lot of work, or it's gonna.
Right, but
Yeah.
what he's saying though, is why can't you, if you're gonna flatten it and start from ground zero, why can't we just shift that so you get a little bit further away from the lake? Like square it up more to the
If you were to
lake.
see the view that was there and how that would really,
Views are views, man, like.
I get that, but I'm just telling you why we would look. That's about what I can add.
I think it would decrease a lot of the, by being in the same place, the excavation and stuff would be minimalized. And not do more destruction to the fauna and the, area. There's one argument, I suppose. It's been, how old was that building, Warren?
What's that?
How old was that building?
So in the early 60s.
Built in the early 60s. So,
The well, and you see the location of our well too. It's pretty close to the building.
The way I understand the zoning ordinance, even say you had a fire or a tree fell onto it and it caused damage it damaged it beyond 50% of its market value. We would be in the same situation. If you rebuild it, it would have to go, that's where the furthest practical
isn't
step
there a
comes
time
in.
limit on that though? And it has to be over a year. If you had a fire and you do nothing for over a year, I would agree with this. But this is not a fire. This is something they're gonna do immediately. This is gonna be just, if we couldn't go and replace buildings in the same spot, and just not even, doesn't even have to do with shoreline zone, just because of its values, once you tore it down, its value went down 50%, you never will be able to rebuild anything anywhere at its original spot. This doesn't make, to me, it doesn't make any sense. The 50% valuation is if you just let it rot and let it go and have done nothing for years and let it dilapidate, that's a different story. We're not doing that, and nothing's had a fire. I did one in Poland with a camp burnt down and they didn't have insurance on it. So they turned a shed, which was a pretty big shed, it was actually 12 by 16 or maybe 20, it's 12 by 20. They turned that into a camp and then they stopped using that camp and that was down by the shore. And they brought a camper and they lived in that camper for years, but they didn't want us to live in that camper forever. So we went to the planning board and under one of the rules is if that structure had been, that camp or the shed that was, they turned into a camp, which they had photographs of. We were able to actually, allowed to turn that back into a camp, and then rebuild. It's an intricate, thing, and it's a matter of interpretation of what the practical extent is. Usually, they're pretty lenient, on when it comes to expense. Septic systems are a major part of it, steep slopes. Timber, trees, the landscaping of the environment. You know, mature trees are very, very important for these lakes. Cut them down and take away that environmental, that's a practical extent. I mean, that, to me, you're removing something more valuable, just to move it back. In this case, we're minimizing the construction by using the same exact spot.
Where is the well right behind the house there?
Yeah,
Just to the right.
I just saw it where I
Yeah,
thought
that-
we could
that-
rotate it, that's the
You
well,
can
so.
see it in this picture too.
Yeah, I just saw it. So that's gross.
And, what are the height restrictions if you were to rebuild right there?
You can go up to 20 feet.
Okay. So will it be a two-story building?
Well, you know, the plans are in the
Yeah,
back.
it's in the back of our thing, it is gonna be two-story.
Isn't it gonna be up to the
Yeah,
next
it's just
18 or something? Huh?
Yeah,
Partial second story.
Oh, yeah.
Are we sure it's 20 feet?
Yes.
How close
If
is
it's
that?
inside, if it's
Between
inside
50 and
75
is
feet,
20 feet.
yes.
And then 25 from 75 to 100.
I thought it was 15,
That's if you're within 25.
25, okay.
Or you can't go higher than what the existing structure is.
So with this new, with the new structure, will the property line to the left?
Still, it won't,
It still won't meet,
it'll still be the 13 feet.
still get
No,
there.
The existing on the closest sideline point is today, with the overhang, which is what we're gonna count, right?
Yeah,
Is 11.4 feet. So the new cottage will have 13, we're actually increasing the setback by a couple of feet.
that's good.
The other sides don't really matter that much, but even from the shore, the proposed was 27.9, and we're going to 29.8. So a foot more. It's not that we're trying to come closer to on the lines, but
So no, I'm just trying to, yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
realize
that's the
that
problem.
you actually increased that.
yeah, because of the overhangs are
Yeah.
much smaller
You actually
in
got-
this case.
I felt that was, a great thing.
Yeah, that's good.
So we're actually making it more conforming, you know, so it's always gonna be drivable.
Yeah.
Grandfather or not, you can't change
So-
that. And that's, I don't know what statute that is, but that is, allowable. Old buildings get torn down and rebuilt in the same footprint all the time without having to change setbacks, because of the setbacks. Happens all the time.
Yeah, so with in light of the well, is that closed? You've got mature trees, there's really not,
Other than having them move the well and the septic, which I
right,
wouldn't expect them to do. No.
right.
I make a motion, we accept the preliminary review of the Warren Meissen site plan as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, let's vote on it. Go, all in favor?
You said preliminary, is it?
It says preliminary on it. It says preliminary on it, that's what it
We
says.
have, let's see, we have all our,
This should be the final.
Okay, that could just be a typo here. Yeah, we were, okay.
I don't know.
So let's look at, we don't have all of this stuff, but,
Does yours say final?
Plan is
we
final.
have all the paperwork
You do, you have everything.
for,
Yeah, I don't think I-
oh yeah, it was all in here.
No, that I have. Well, I was just going off what the minutes said.
It's preliminary on that, it doesn't say preliminary.
No, it doesn't,
We went off
no.
a minute.
Yeah, I was going off what they called it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me change my.
Final.
So everything else is in order though, as far as the paperwork, I can see the forms, everything's.
The application's right in there.
Everything's in there.
I didn't have time to.
I went through it all today, so. All right, let me redo this. I make a motion that we accept the final review plan for Warren Michael's site plan application for the shoreland zoning.
I'll second
All right, all in favor?
Say one, folks, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you see, you
it.
got it.
Yeah, any public comments?
I think the only thing that I wanted to say about it too is that we wanna get the code up to, standard too. And that was part of why we're gonna keep the walls a little bit thicker so we can.
Oh,
Yeah. You're gonna need it on the lake.
Yeah.
Well, it went tonight.
Blowing today.
Yeah. Yes,
Can I give you a copy to sign?
Yeah, yeah, we
I
have,
have this one.
I need an unfold one, we can't, they won't
Oh.
report, they won't report it.
all of ours are folded.
Yeah, ours are all full.
I usually look to sign these two.
But, like this.
Oh, we're gonna give it. You're ready.
This thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I still have two copies. You guys have a black pen or?
I don't know.
I got a lot.
I want that. I hung it all over Walmart for that.
You found the perfect pen.
How you doing, Shane? Michael Bryan.
This is the 11th.
And I actually live next door to Warren.
Oh, yeah,
We'll be getting about.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Kingston? I just built my place.
I have not heard from him.
2 months.
2 years
I don't
ago.
know of anybody.
Was involved with that.
I think he left and then we're back. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in military.
He went back to the military.
Yeah.
Married.
Put it this way, I went in at 18. I was retired at 30. You went back in at 30.
That's what seems like a tough sell. Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's making it. I think he's got a nickname for basic, his grandpa.
Had he been in before? Or is it? Yes.
This man ain't going to do that stuff. I did enough running on the side. I'm not going back and do that. Did my share. I'm good.
Yeah, I did my time when I was young. I couldn't imagine doing it now.
30-something years old.
No.
Right now.
I'm almost 50, when I was
Funny
15.
thing is, I still run further than ever ran.
Yeah.
I could probably still keep it
You're
going,
always old.
but.
No.
Okay, give me my ibuprofen, my.
I remember asking Joe Sarge, why we run so much? We're not gonna run from that, we're gonna march straight into it.
We're
not running from nobody.
Yeah, we'll have to look at mine.
Yeah, that's what-
Let's keep it just.
Friday evening,
I've run, and I've tried to do it again.
no problem soon.
Married to Megan?
This time of year.
We'll definitely have to hook up.
She was warm one of you out there?
I don't know, who you talking
Give it back to you.
What is it?
But no, I'm not kidding you.
I was gonna say 53, but I got some 53.
All right.
Likewise, take care. Stay warm.
Yeah. The best invention ever. The problem is though, Sue, and my mother guys don't have it, so I
That's good.
I got it on the wheel driving my house. On the lake, we were renting on the other side of it in front of us. And it was horrible stairs down to the parking area. I didn't realize Sue was going out in the snow to start us down.
Good to see you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas. Likewise. No, you just asked, no?
Wrong thing.
I have to read this guy out.
Oh, yes, I know.
So we've covered all of
Okay,
them.
guys. Jumping ship,
Yeah, no So, do I have, a motion for anyone to?
I make a motion, we adjourn this evening's festivities.
Okay. In favor of that?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I had my other hand up for you.
So meeting is adjourned.
Feel free to keep all your paper, bring it home.